Hello, this is David Waumsley back for a fourth interview. This time it's with Peter Luit, who's based in the Netherlands. And his company does various things, but the web building side of it uses Beaver Builder. And you may also know him for writing articles and testing various Beaver Builder related software on his own blog, which is called newmarket.nl. So during this interview, we talk quite a bit about software, which is an irony because software let us down quite badly. As you can see, I'm inside for this recording, but we managed to get to the end. I hope there's some value in it, and I'll see you on the other side. Peter, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, and it is nice to be on your Beaver Builder television channel today.
Wow.
And here it is windy and rainy in the Netherlands, but we can manage to talk a little bit about Beaver Builder today.
For the folks who don't know you, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do in your company?
In my company, I do actually three things, and one part of it that was the original things which I did when I started in 1993. That was consultancy, seminars and trainings, and after the crisis that decreased a little bit. And although I'm still doing that, it is not a major part of my company anymore. The second thing I'm doing is publishing. I own three titles, online platforms, and they are mainly built around the printing industry and also smart printing solutions with RFID, this kind of high-tech things. That's the second part I'm doing, and the last, and I suppose that is where you want to talk about a little bit more, is the webs and apps design facilities. Because of our knowledge in publishing, we started a business in offering those kind of services to build efficient websites for others as well.
Peter, would you call it a media production company then? Is that a good term for what you do?
Yeah, what we have seen in the last 3 years is that the publishing activities are growing more rapidly than the production side of it. So we have lots of customers who want us to build nice websites or apps, but the publishing part is growing because of our commercial partners, of our subscribers, etc., etc. So if you're talking about amounts of money or something like that, then the publishing part is is getting more and more important.
Can you see what just happened?
I saw what happened. The light is off, but and the recording is off.
No, the recording's not off, but I think.
Oh, let's continue. No problem.
Okay.
No, because it is not too dark. Actually, it looks a little bit better than before. So David, the audience, they don't care. We have a connection between the Netherlands and India, so anything can happen. Let's continue.
Continue. Yes. So I mean, the type of clients you have, I'm just fascinated myself. Where do they come from? What type of people are they that you deal with?
Yeah, that's funny, because when I was a consultant, I mainly worked in the area of printing companies, publishers, etc., etc. But when I started my let's say WordPress business, then the whole field of possible customers was growing and growing in all kinds of directions. And actually, we want to focus a little bit more for customers who have a publishing challenge. That is what we want. Although we made websites for schools, we made them for web shops, we made them for a golf course. Actually, it was too broad to make a business model, to make a marketing plan, and now we are in the focus because our publishing activities are going that well. That we will hope that in 2017 we can focus more on publishing challenges, help people to publish better.
I'd like to ask you a bit about your journey to WordPress and then on to Beaver Builder. I know a little bit about this. You've got a longer history than me with all of this.
Yeah. I started. I thought it was WordPress 1.5. I found it somewhere on a hard drive a couple of weeks ago, and that was a WordPress version which didn't even have a menu possibility to make a menu. We are used to it today. That's normal. And then I started with playing with some themes. I thought it was Atahualpa, which seemed to be afterwards. I didn't know it. A terrible theme because it generated terrible HTML, and I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't even care because I was proud that I made a lovely website for my company. Until somebody pointed me to that fact, and that I should really take care of those kind of things. And then I started looking for other themes, and David, that wasn't that easy, because then you start buying one, or you take a free one from WordPress.org, and you don't know what you are looking for. And at a certain moment, I met Genesis as a framework, and I said to myself, "What is a framework? I don't understand it." And I installed Genesis, and I looked at it, and I really didn't like it, because it was nothing. It was just a very basic frame, let's
Yeah.
say. And I didn't even know anything about in that time, and I must say that's about let's say 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know exactly, but that about child teams. I just kept doing things and changing things. I learned a bit about PHP and CSS. So when I experienced child teams, then to my mind it came, hey, here's something going on. That's a logical thing. And to hurry up a little bit, I finally discovered Dynamic as a child team, although it's more like a web development environment made in a child team. And there I discovered, okay, here I have a tool where setting parameters, if possible, and doing some programming if needed. I am not a PHP or a CSS specialist, but I found my way through all this kind of stuff to change things according to the wishes of the customers. But again, the Genesis Dynamic combination was great for me, because finally I was finished with testing all kind of themes and learning the backside of the theme and where to set things, etc., etc. Until recently I discovered Beaver Builder as a page builder. Actually, it was not the first one which I touched. That was Visual Composer, and then again I looked to the source code and I said, "Oh, this is way back, years back, with all those shortcodes and terrible HTML output. I'm not going into this." But when I saw Beaver Builder, my first question to the support guys was, okay guys, what is the HTML quality of Beaver Builder? And there's 100% guarantees, search engine friendly and those kind of things. But okay, that was commercial talk, of course, but I bought it, the pro version, the plugin and the theme. And started playing with it, and then I discovered, okay, here's something going on. I have Genesis Dynamic, but what is left for Genesis Dynamic if I have the Beaver Builder theme and the Beaver Builder plugin? Just something in the header or in the footer. That was it. So I was pretty confused when Beaver Builder arrived.
Yes. Well, it's been a progression, and we've shared a bit of that journey, haven't we? Because we've both been dynamic users with the Beaver Builder plugin, and there's been a bit of a shift towards using the Beaver Builder theme, I think, with both of us around the same time, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I just can say that after doing some tests with that combination, and also a little bit with WordPress to see a little bit of the difference here. I came to the conclusion that I could develop much faster than with the dynamic Genesis combination. Although a great combination, but it is, let's say, when I look to my customers at the moment, I think the majority of the average customers which I have to do things for can be done with Beaver Builder Theme and Beaver Builder plugin much faster, much more efficient, and even with clean code, good performance, beautiness, etc., etc. So it's just a logical evolution, development in the WordPress playing field. And I think even the developers of the WordPress core should look on how to go further themselves, because in the last couple of years, not that much changed on the surface of WordPress. A lot of things under the hood, of course, to protect it, to make it more safe and more stable, etc., etc. But I think WordPress really should look into the positive effects of using a page builder, preferably Beaver Builder for me at the moment. But maybe they are up to something. I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a developer, because there's so many different pulls. There are people like me who are moving perhaps our business model towards the fact that looking at the clients can do more with page builders. So perhaps we need their back end of WordPress to be a lot tidier for them, so we change our business model. And of course, the poor plugin developers and WordPress itself have got to kind of adapt, where you've got, obviously we've got people who would say we don't want clients touching the back end at all, and we want development tools at the front. So there's a real pull, and things like dynamic, even though I've moved away from it, still such a fabulous product, that perhaps it doesn't need to change, in the way it's suiting so many people the way it exactly is,
and Eric Hem himself even discovered that something was going on in the page builder, in the Beaver Builder community, and now he developed Beaver Extender, which is a kind of a subset of dynamic. And even that product might have some market share. I don't know if it is very big, but you can use that product in the higher end of the Beaver Builder things. If you, for example, have Beaver tunnels to make some easy conditionals, that would be fine for non-programming users. But if you want to go a little bit further with JavaScript, the built-in CSS editor, and even more complex conditionals, Beaver Extender might be some kind of solution. And David, the thing is that now that we are so active in all those very nice communities, we just buy them all to play with them and to test them. And again, actually, we are back at square one, let's say 10 years ago, where I was testing all kinds of themes, and I wanted to get rid of that, and we are there again. But it is so very nice to do this, because the communities we are in, they are friendly, they are nice, they are helpful, and looking for solutions all together, and when we find them, we share them. So it's worth the time and the money to buy the stuff and to do something with it, and for your own business getting a little bit better. At least I hope so, because when I add it all up, I spent a couple of hundreds of dollars already just in the Beaver Builder area.
I know, and the time. But you know what? This is partly why I'm talking to you today, is because I haven't mentioned already your other website, which is the newmarket.nl, isn't it? And it's the Dutch spelling of Newmarket, isn't it? Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Somebody else pointed me, you should change that to newsmarket.com or something like that. But I had that domain, and I just started publishing a little bit about what I experienced in that playing field. Last week, I published an article on Beaver Extender, and I noticed in the different Facebook communities that people like that kind of stories, and that kind of analytic kind of things, how stuff works. And I must admit, David, that I should shift those kind of hobby things a little bit more to the evening or the weekend, because they consume so much time. And there are a lot of other resources out there writing about Beaver Builder developments, and they are all great. And I hope I can keep up a little bit, because, well, I have my business to do. I have to make my my money for my living. So I cannot promise that I will be there every week.
Well, no, I mean, I really like what you do. It's quite distinctive, really. I mean, you put up those first tests of different themes that would work with Beaver Builder, so you could just try all of those. I really like that. I mean, I'm quite similar in the same way. I like to test these things out as well, and I know.
Yeah, you also have a very nice portal with all kinds of CSS stuff and CSS editors, and how CSS works in Beaver Builder. That was a very interesting one.
But I really like, when you've gone and done, when you were trying to recreate, I think, a theme forest theme with the various tools.
That was that was Bridge, which is a very nice theme to look at. It was very complicated and a big one, so I thought, how can I recreate this one in Beaver Builder? And actually, that was not that difficult. Together with some add-ons, I managed in a couple of hours to recreate that one. It was a little bit different with Divi 3. I also tried to recreate the same bridge theme with Divi. And that was mainly because of their user interface and their user experience. It took me more time to learn what is behind the philosophy of elegant themes to make it this way. So it was interesting to do it, but I didn't touch it afterwards anymore.
Yeah. Do you think some of that is just what you're used to? I always find it hard to judge these things. When I have a preference towards certain things, I don't know if it's just that it connects with me or it's...
Yeah, of course. There is always, if you are experienced in one thing and you are trying to test something in which you are not experienced, you always have that reference ID. How did I do this in Beaver Builder compared to Divi? And I think it is fair to say it took me more time because of that comparison. I think an experienced Divi user will do that much faster. So it's a good product, but I really don't like their user interface. It's like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, well, it was available to me, and I chose Beaver Builder, and I find, the same thing, because we have the same problem, and I think loads of people in the community do. There's so many good new products which keep growing on a almost weekly basis as we think about the add-ons that, now most of the time I'm looking behind what the intention are of the people who make them, what they stand for more than anything, more than the actual features these days.
Yeah. I even forget about installing the latest version so now and then. I think you pointed me yesterday to Ultimate, which came with version 1.3, I suppose. At first, and that's just in a couple of months. A couple of months ago, I was eager to get every beta version of any add-on available in the Beaver Builder playing field. But now, for me, it comes to a little bit of rest to say, okay, I'm satisfied with PowerPack and with Ultimate and with Beaver Tunnels. And it's okay when they have an update, but I'm not in a hurry to do that for every client website immediately.
Sure, sure. Are we saying developers stop developing, slow down, we need some time?
Yeah, but I must say that I'm happy that we don't have 10 or 20 add-on developers with all those modules.
Uh-huh.
We have been talking about how to manage all those modules, and I'm glad it is still two of them. And I must admit it is very difficult to see differences between modules of both of them. They are looking at each other, and yeah, they are copy pasting some functionality. So in the end, I think the real difference between Ultimate and Power Pack, well, I don't know. It's getting less and less.
Yeah, yeah. You pick the one that you like. I mean, we have both,
Yeah,
obviously, so
yeah.
we have that
There is
dilemma all
no
the time.
one the best. There is not a best one.
It's not that easy, no.
No.
And actually, that's really, I guess, when I first got so familiar with you, Facebook, the Beaver Builder Facebook group, and that debate that you led on, really, the future of plugins. Even really, I think before we had Power Pack and Ultimate, I think
Yeah.
you were talking about the future and the idea, or perhaps at that time, the need for individual modules, which I
Yeah.
agreed with, more than packs at the time.
Yeah. For sure. Beaver Lodge was I think the first add-on on the market, and I don't know his name anymore because he's not that active anymore in the Facebook group. But
John
he,
Mather.
yeah, exactly, yeah. He started developing separate plugins for the separate modules, but I don't know the status of Beaver Lodge in that area anymore. But I think the developers of Beaver Builder themselves should offer some kind of structure for that. But I don't know if version 2 will change the idea of how that will work. So I don't hear that much anymore about the discussion we had a couple of months ago. So well, maybe something is coming up, but until now we have to cope with this packs.
Yeah. It would be lovely, I think, if we heard a little bit more about where people saw themselves in the market and where they saw themselves heading, and who, I guess, primarily they were trying to reach, if you like, in the whole community. Because we're such a community of some people would be business owners who want to create maybe various sites for their own business, and that's their only reason for coming into Beaver Builder. They want that control. They don't want to have clients and become developers or designers. And then you've got the folks like me who are looking to build a business that wants to serve lots of clients and got different expectations. So, and it's not,
Yeah.
that all the products are serving two very different people with different needs, and it's not quite clear where they're aimed at. It's aimed at everybody, I think, at the moment, most of the products.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, actually, we've been going on for quite a while, actually. I've probably covered most of the things that I wanted to talk to you
I
about.
think so.
So the weather's not good in Netherlands.
No, at the moment we just jumped over from summer to winter. It looks like there's no autumn here, and we have had in September very nice temperatures, but now it's about 13, 14 maximum, and with a lot of wind and rain at the moment. But well, that's the Netherlands.
Well, I'm from the UK, so I know all about rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Peter, thanks very much for talking to me. So sorry that it's been delayed on this interview and that there's been so much trouble with our connections. But we got there in the end, and I hope it's useful to people. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and it was a pleasure of doing this together.
Yeah, for me too. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you very soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Back in the light again. Hey, Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate that. And if you've any ideas about the type of person that you would like me to interview in the future, the type of questions that you'd like me to ask, then please drop me a line below. And if you're a Beaver Builder user yourself and you don't mind the idea of being interviewed by me, then please get in contact. I'd really like to hear from you. Otherwise, I hope to catch you in another video quite soon. And that's me done. So you take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye for me. Bye.